The stock market is up bigly today with the Dow making fresh new highs here in the midst of the toughest economic times we've seen in a decade. So why are we seeing this massive green day? Well, Pfizer came out and said that their new vaccine is more than 90% effective, and this, guys, is huge. So as a result, the market is euphoric, everyone's excited, stocks are shooting higher, and we have a lot to discuss today because there are still some opportunities out there despite the overall market being up around 4 to 5% today. In this video, I want to discuss the following with you guys. Firstly, why is the vaccine so important to the market? Second, let's go through some stocks that actually had some big moves up and down today. There may be some buying opportunities here, so we'll look at that. And then finally, I'm going to discuss my opinion on whether I think it's time to sell some of these stocks or keep holding. So hit the like button down below to show your support for the channel, and make sure you watch this entire video because you'll get my insights on what I'm personally doing, because I did make some moves today in the market. My goal is that by watching this entire video, you will understand what to do in these situations, how to look for certain businesses, and really take advantage of it so you can make money off of this. So guys, I had a completely different video planned today, but hey, it's breaking news here with Pfizer. Stocks are just booming, so I just had to talk about it because I know you guys like these videos. So the video I had planned for today will get pushed to tomorrow. But also on a side note, I started a second channel, guys, so check that out. The first video on there is the Very Good Food Company, so if you want to hear my thoughts on it, make sure to watch that video. And no, I was not sponsored. I did not get paid for that video. But anyways, on that second channel, I'll be talking a lot about some of the hype Canadian stocks, so go on over, check it out, and subscribe. Anyways, let's get into the content today, and let's firstly answer the question, why is a vaccine so important to the market? So you have to understand, the stock market, it's like this big emotional child. When there's bad news, it cries, it panics, it throws a tantrum, it sells off irrationally. On the flip side, when there's good news, gets super excited, tries to buy everything in sight, and it just keeps pushing prices higher and higher. In March, we saw an example of the panic. Day after day, we saw the Dow down thousands of points, and a lot of investors lost their shirt on that, and they just quit. They're like, I'm done with the stock market, I'm leaving. However, my viewers were able to take advantage of that situation, and now we're sitting pretty with massive gains in our portfolio. But on the flip side, today you have stocks up like 15-20%. So you're thinking, hey, is this the other extreme of the pendulum? Or are we now at a point where everything is a buy and valuations don't matter anymore? Well, here's the thing. The vaccine news is important. It's something the market's been waiting for a long time. And you can see this in previous months. Whenever we had some sort of rumor on, oh, Johnson & Johnson has this trial that may be successful, or some of these other companies, oh yeah, their trials look to be successful, the market would bump up a little. But today we had a very reputable business, Pfizer, come out and say that their vaccine is over 90% effective. The market's like, hey, this is good news. I'm taking it and I'm running with it. Now, guys, a vaccine, there's multiple aspects to this, right? So a vaccine, of course, it's going to protect us from actually contracting this issue. But also on the flip side, it has huge economic benefits. Think about it. For the last few months, you were not able to do things like go to sports games, go to movie theaters, go to the gym, hang out with friends at a bar, social gatherings like concerts. You weren't able to do all that stuff because many of those things were shut down for most of the last few months, if not all of the last few months. With a vaccine, it enables people to start doing these things again without feeling fear, and organizations are able to open up these sort of events again without the fear of getting their customers sick. This is huge for the economy because it now means that spending can go back into these sort of businesses which need in-person kind of experiences to essentially survive. But here's the thing that the market is just ignoring. The vaccine is announced. Yeah, they're, in very early stages here to say that it works. However, for it to be readily available for everyone out there, it's not going to happen until mid to late 2021. That means we could be waiting like this for another year until we actually resume any sort of normalcy. Yet the market's like, hey, I don't care. I'm celebrating. Every stock's a buy. Stock market keeps going up. And guys, hey, if you bought in during the March lows like I did, sure, it's time to celebrate with our massive gains here. But on the flip side, if you want to be a smart investor, you have to be rational. I am just as excited for a vaccine as the next person in line, hopefully 6 feet away. But the point is, it's still a while away and it's still going to take time for it to trickle down to every single person out there, which means the economy is still going to take time to fully recover to pre-global issue levels. So anyways, let's move on now and let's talk about some stocks that had some big moves up and down today and kind of touch upon whether these are buying opportunities or not. So here's my watch list kind of midday. This is before the market closed, and you'll notice a very clear theme. Travel stocks, Wynn Resorts, Expedia, they are booming, up well over 20%. Financials, another one doing extremely well, up double digits on the day. Retail, like Ulta Beauty, oil, ExxonMobil, restaurants, Texas Roadhouse, all are doing incredibly well today, up massive amounts. Then conversely, we look at the worst performers and we can again get a clear theme. Now Biogen tops the list here. Is kind of an abnormal one because it had a huge boom last week and it just gave away all its gains today. But apart from that, it's clear that the typical work from home stocks are the losers here. Wayfair, online furniture shopping, Shopify, eBay, Square, PayPal, all online related businesses that have benefited greatly from the last few months. And these kind of high growth cloud, online business stocks that I watch, no different. Overstock.com, Peloton, Zoom, DocuSign, Etsy, the list goes on and on. These are all services and products that consumers were buying up during the lockdowns and social distancing times, and these stocks are now starting to give back their gains that they earned over the last few months. But many of these stocks are still up massively on the year. So it's clear where money is flowing out of and into in the markets here today. So what can we learn from this? Well, what I see is that the market has flipped its outlook with a snap of a finger. We get this vaccine news and all of a sudden tech stocks, I don't need those stocks. I want retail. I want in-person stuff. Disney, give me some Boeing, give me all of these stocks that have been beaten down massively. And yeah, I mean, technically a vaccine will help them. But like I said, it's a long time away. Also, what I do want to point out is that I think a lot of these companies, Peloton, for example, Zoom, for example, their products are so sticky, consumers are not going to go back to how they were before. That's just my opinion. But I think when gyms open back up, they're not going to see the same capacity that they did pre-global issue levels. I think a lot of consumers are now happy with their Pelotons. They kind of formed communities with this and they just find it way more efficient doing their workouts at home with friends and, kind of a competitive environment. Zoom, that's a good example too. People realize the power now of video conferencing, and yeah, you still want to meet up with people in person, but hey, if there's friends that can't make a certain event because they're too far away, instead of flying all the way there now for a weekend, they can just join virtually and have a night with their friends virtually. Guys, this is going to save people a lot of money in the long term, which means I think it's going to hurt these traditional businesses as well over the long term. Another example I can think of is Wayfair. People love online shopping now. Amazon has kind of proven that market. And why wouldn't you want to shop online for these large items? I mean, come on, let's be real. Do you really want to go into a store, buy a couch, and have to deal with delivering it yourself to your house? Or would you just rather just go on, browse through hundreds of different couches, find one that you like, buy it, have it delivered to your door, and if you don't like it, return it. Not a big deal. These are kind of no-brainer trends I think are going to be around for a long time. So stocks like these that have been selling off massively today may be presenting buying opportunities. The bottom line really with this is that I think that tech stocks are still fundamentally the root of our economy. They're going to be the things that will just keep us chugging along and growing and expanding and kind of making the world a better place. Whereas the traditional retails, traditional type of banks, traditional type of airlines, yeah, they're still going to be around, but they're not going to be services that people use as often as they did before. That's, again, just my opinion. Now, I will say this, okay? There's some stocks that have been beaten down so much that even after this recovery today, they're still well off of their highs. So there's still an opportunity there. There are still specific businesses that I can pick from different industries that I think are going to be long-term winners. I'll give you a couple examples. Boeing, I think, is one. People are still going to fly even if it means less people flying. And another example would be Wynn Resorts. People are still going to want to gamble and still want to go to Vegas and the Strip and Macau and all that kind of stuff. So it's clear to me, things are a little bit wacky here in the market. So the question, of course, comes up, is it time to sell some of these stocks or should we keep holding? So here's the thing, it may surprise you. I actually did some buying today in the markets. Because there was such a massive rotation of money today, a lot of stocks that I've been watching for a little while that I wanted to get into saw some pretty decent dips and I took advantage of it. I'll tell you this, the stocks I bought today were not ones that were up massively because those typically had opportunities to buy over the last few months. These stocks that I bought have been pretty decent, but they had a little bit more value today, so I bought more shares. They were both red when I bought them today. Now that being said, the question is it time to sell? I don't think so, and let me explain why. Firstly, my theory is that what we're seeing today in the market is not really sustainable. The market bumped up relatively high on news that'll only take into effect a year from now. Between now and then, a lot of stuff can change and the market is going to react to those things. So I think that this 1,000 whatever point jump that we had today is going to cool off and we are going to see some sort of selling in the next few days, weeks, or months. I don't really know that. What I am trying to say is that usually when we see irrational moves like this, it doesn't necessarily last unless there's a very strong reason for it. And while a vaccine is good news, I'm going to say this time and time again, it's still a long ways away. And a lot of these businesses that need people to come back in for them to survive are not going to see the benefits of this vaccine for at least a year to two. Can they survive that long? We'll have to wait and see, but that's kind of the situation that I see right now. Now, I mentioned there were some companies that were beaten down massively that are still pretty good value even after today. Let's talk about Boeing for a second here. Boeing is actually down 50%, well over 50% actually, from its highs even after today's 15% rally. So we're a long ways away here from where Boeing should be in my eyes over the next 3 to 5 years. So great, you got a 15% bump in Boeing today, so should you sell? I wouldn't, because I'm holding this for a double or triple up on my money in the next 5 years or so. Sure, a 15% gain in a single day is, pat on the back. That's the pretty impressive gain. But guys, I'm trying to teach you here to just focus on the long term, because if you want to be a successful investor, that is what you really need to focus on. I honestly can't see the point of taking a 15% profit today when I think that the stock can double or triple in the next few years. It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'll just keep holding stocks like Boeing, which I hold in my portfolio. Now on the flip side, do I think it's time to sell stocks like Zoom and Peloton, which saw big declines today? Well, here's the thing. These stocks particularly are highly valued, but they are winners. I don't think that the trends that these businesses have created are going to change. I think it's here to stay. It's going to get rooted into society, and I think it's just something that we have to live with. So because of that, even though they're at sky-high valuations, I wouldn't necessarily sell those stocks. One strategy you could do is you can go and sell your principal investment so you get your money back and just let the rest of it ride. So you're just playing with house money at that point. That's something I see done commonly. And if you do that, then great. You're just letting your profits make you more profits. The one concern I will say for those high flyers, Zoom, Peloton, even Shopify, I guess, is that their fundamentals are really stressed right now. So we could see a period of them kind of just consolidating for a little while, because all they've been doing, guys, since March is just up, up, up. Stocks go up and down, so you got to remember that. And maybe we're entering a phase now where these stocks just consolidate for a little while, let their fundamentals catch up to those valuations, and then over time they'll kind of start another leg up and move higher. Is it likely that stocks like Peloton will double from these prices today? Yeah, over the long term perhaps, but in the next year, I think it's unlikely to see stocks like Peloton double in value. So guys, like I said, this was just a video here that, I had to discuss with all the news today. Let me know in the comment section down below if you made any purchases in the market today. I'll tell you this, I made 2 purchases today, 2 different tranches, 2 different stocks. And if you're interested in what stocks I bought, check out the VIP group in the description down below. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.